Hi there, I'm Liza from Crafty Creations. I see things online and I want to make them. It's been a while since my last sewing video and it's time to recreate something again. This time I will recreate something that is a little bit less over the top and a little more down to earth, yet nonetheless very fancy. I first saw this dress on Instagram and I immediately loved it. The way the design is fancy yet super elegant. At the time I was looking for a special Christmas dress and I thought this one really fits, but it also fits every other special occasion, which is what I love about it. So I decided to look it up. It's a dress from Club L London and it is just so stunning. I love the embellishment around the neck and I'm really a sucker for the mesh details in the back. But when I looked at the price, I realized it's just a tiny little bit out of my price range. So that's the 250 euro special occasion dress. I love the design, but not the price. But I can recreate it and make it even better. So I prepared a sketch of what I'm imagining to do with the dress and what changes I'm gonna make. And I'm not only a sucker for mesh details, but even more for backless designs. So I will stay as close as possible to the original at the front, while creating a sheer bag with a clean V shape to accentuate the waist. Let's go! These are the material I gathered that I think I will use. We have the beads here that I ordered. I personally like these two very much because they are the same color and they look very similar, so they should fit together very well. And then these were, kind of a fail because they look nothing like the others. They have kind of a yellow touch, which I don't like, so I'm gonna have to look for new ones that are round. The original dress has kind of diamond-ish beading, but I prefer pearls because, well, it's a bit more classic, right? Then I bought this one, which is kind of boning that I can sew on. I don't know the actual name of it. I'm not sure if I'm going to use it yet, but I would like to. And then, of course, the string that I have to use for the beads. This is the mesh that I ordered. I'm not 100% sure that this is the one I will be using. It is fairly stiff, not too elastic, that's good, but it reminds me a bit of tulle. This is what it looks like on skin. So it might work, but it's not 100% what I was looking for, so I will see along the way. And then this is the main fabric. I bought it a while ago on a fabric market. I don't remember the price, I just remember that I didn't buy anything above $10 or 10 euros a meter, so it must have been fairly cheap. It's kind of thick, a bit elastic but not too much, which should be great so that it holds the form nicely. I will use the same for the lining, even though the skirt will probably not need a lining. And then I looked through all my magazines again to find a pattern that is even remotely close, and I could only find one, which is from Border December, well, that's funny, 2022. It's this dress here. It's more of an empire dress, so I have to drop the top a bit. The sleeves are too short. There's a seam that I don't like. I have to straighten the neck. But yeah, I think the base is there and I can work with it. This is what it looks like when it's finished. So you can see it's more of an empire seam there. But I think this should work. So this is the front piece from the pattern, and I tried to scramble my brain a bit around it, but I can't really find a way that I'm happy with the dart in the front. I would much rather have two separate pieces, but I don't want to, you know, fuck it up with this. So I decided to go back to my all-time favorite pattern, which is the Daydreamer strap dress. I used it quite a lot, so I know that the shape is quite nice in the front. As always, I take away 2 centimeters from the side and add it to the front because I like my seam a little bit more to the right. I guess that's just my body shape. Anyway, so I will go with this somehow, because then I also already know where my waist will be. And I think it works fairly well. The only thing I have to see is, of course, making it straight at the top. I have to finish or start this piece before this seam. So that's a little tricky because this already has seam allowance. Okay, I think I have to use it like this though. It's not easy, not easy. Okay, let's go and see how it looks. I'm going to leave it open here at the top because I haven't measured my shoulder to waist yet, and I'm usually longer than the normal pattern, so I will finish that when I measured myself, which is, yes, I agree, something I should have done before. Actually, I don't remember if it's with seam allowance. I should double check that as well, because maybe it isn't. So I measured my shoulder to waist, which is about 43 to 45 centimeters, depending on how much I go over the breast. And the shoulder strap to where I want my neckline to be should be around 19 centimeters. So I'm still missing a few up here. So I will just follow the line till I'm up here. And then see if we have something like 45, 43. This looks nice. It's a bit longer than this piece, but well, my waist is a bit lower than most people's waist, so that should be fine. But this is not in a straight line, so I think we have a fairly good front piece. And now to this part. And now I'm gonna, I'm gonna draw the original line and then make it straighter. Looks a bit weird. Well, we will see. That's what the muslin is for. I'm so unable to do a straight line, it's really funny. I'm really excited for the muslin. honestly, because I don't know if this is going to work out at all. Now we have the back piece, which I don't like at all. I don't like the darts. I don't know why they're doing these kind of ugly darts sometimes. And also I want a backless version, or see-through version, you know what I mean. And I have to make it a whole lot longer, so let's change it. First of all, I'm gonna try and remove these ugly darts. Okay, let's try it. Okay, now we have a fairly good outline because this is just crap. Oh, I don't know if I don't know again if I had enough paper. Ah, Jesus. Yep, I don't. Okay, let's start again. So this should be enough now. Okay, and now I wanted something like this in the back piece. All right. Now the other piece comes in handy after all. Nice. So this is what the pattern pieces look like for now. We have this one that will be black, this one that will be mesh, and then the black two front pieces. I'm going to prepare a muslin now and see if any of the stuff that I did here actually works out. Okay, so this turned out to be as terrible as it turned out good. This is terrible because I'm not wearing a bra when it's see-through in the back, so I have to, well, come up with something here. And this is exactly what I meant with I don't like the seam to be too much in the middle. I think it should be like a little bit more out here. I think I'm going to change that up again. This looks too tiny, but considering the seam allowance disappearing when I add the lining, it's a little bit better, I think. Yeah, it's almost too small also, so that's good to know. When I do a muslin, I always leave the side seam open and close the back. I did a little mistake back here, but overall it's easier for me to close the side than the back. Spoiler alert, this should have been my sign to put the zipper on the side. So yeah, I have to change a bit here. It's not so easy. This side is actually not so bad, but this one is terrible. If I add 2 centimeters in the middle, I think that's the necessary growth I need for it to fit better. I mean, the waist is okay, it shouldn't be much more at the waist. What do you guys think? So these are the two pieces I'm gonna do the changes on. I wanna add 2 centimeters here, but basically keep it like that, and I'm gonna cut off a little bit here because this felt slightly too wide. So that should be enough. Now we come to the skirt pieces. I didn't add the seam allowance there yet because I knew that I'm going to do so many changes on the top part that I first have to check if we're even remotely close to the same length. So what do I have here? I have the front. So let's check. Considering the seam allowance. Oh, this one is tough. Oh, Jesus, what did I do here? Okay, so I think it's pretty good, considering this is where it would end without the seam allowance, so I think we're pretty much there. So I'm just going to leave it and correct the mistakes later, if there are any. There's another thing I forgot, the skirt length. So I figured, or measured, I want the skirt to be about 40 centimeters from the waist. So that would be here, quite a bit shorter. And just in case I went completely off boards, I'm gonna add, yeah, a good 6 centimeters. One down, another one to go. This is a tiny bit too long, but I will keep it because of the zipper, and I'm afraid that I'm going to fuck it up or it's going to be too short otherwise. So let's look at the length. This is the middle, so this is the side. It should be about, where's my clip? Here. And about here in the back. Now that the pieces are finished, I can cut out the main fabric. Now that I have all the pattern pieces cut, I'm gonna start by serging everything. And before I can do that, I'm gonna sew the darts on the skirt. So many pieces later, everything is serged except for the mesh pieces, because I decided to not serge everything. Because I only have one layer in the back, I thought it's gonna look nicer when I do a seam here that's not completely black, like here. Like, this is not gonna look as nice as just this. But because here is the zipper, I wanted just a little bit more support. And for the sleeves as well, even though I might regret that, I don't know. The sleeve I also just serged the top and not the sides, because I think that will look nicer in the end. We will see. Now I'm gonna start with the back and then sew all the other pieces together. So this is what I will do here in the back. This is the outside. Oh god, I'm so nervous. What if it doesn't work? Okay. Like this. And then we have the two lining pieces. Okay, not braining. No, this is like this. This is like this. So should go something like this. So, because if I sew it like this, it's gonna look nice from the inside and outside. Let's sew this. Alright, now that I've sewn those pieces together, I will... how do I explain that? I want to have a nice stitch here that holds all of these, right? So, wait, is this the inside? I'm confused. Yeah, this is the lining, so I will fold everything over there. Just secure it a little at the beginning and the end. And then sew really close to the edge here. So this is what the stitch looks like now, and I think it's really nice. And after ironing, it looks pretty much like this. And it's gonna hold this shape now. So now on to the main pieces. That's gonna be really interesting. Okay, now that I've sewed the pieces together, I repeated the same for the lining. And now I will cut some, well, what are these called actually? Some notches in here. Some little triangles for sure. I'm doing this because now it's way more easier to iron it. For ironing, I use these kind of things. This one I did myself. I'm still waiting for my boyfriend to give me the wood piece that I'm gonna glue down here. But, well, you know. So, this is how I'm gonna iron it on. And I repeat that for every part. So this is done, and I ironed everything. Now I'm thinking about what to do next. What is the smartest here? I want the neckline obviously to be really, really nice, so I shouldn't start anything that ruins this. Maybe I should start with the neckline. But also I was thinking if I could manage to repeat this kind of seam on the sides. But I don't know if I do the sides, if I could still do the inside. Yeah, I think I could do both at the same time, actually. Yeah. So I will start with the neckline, then do the sides, then turn it around and do some nice back stitching for the neckline. Hopefully. So I changed my mind about sewing the back pieces in right now because I'm afraid it's gonna do pulling at places where I don't want pulling. So I finished the neckline. I didn't manage to get these corners perfect. If any of you have suggestions for the next time, I would be so happy. So please let me know in the comments. Actually, the inside worked out better than the outside. But yeah, it's going to be fine. It's going to be beading around it, so I'm just going to hide all the imperfections. Other than that, I think the shape turned out pretty great. So now I will sew on the back pieces. Just this side, just on the outside, not the lining, and then either by hand or by machine add the lining later on. I'm not sure yet. And then I will sew on the skirt as well. So this is what we have now. It looks like quite a mess, but I promise it's not. This is the lining, and I've only attached the back piece to the front and on one part of the shoulder, and also this part of the lining only up till here, so I still have a chance to do this later. Now I'm gonna make the shoulder part nice. So I'm gonna iron this to the inside. And fold it over, something like this. And then just do a little seam here. And at the same time, do a seam at the top here. So it's time for a first checkup. I can't secure it in the back right now, but let's imagine it's closed. I think the neckline turned out fairly nice. It's not too much cleavage. It looks pretty nice. Seams are okay. I'm not sure if I want to add boning yet. It might make this form nicer, but it might also fuck it up. So I will think about it. Yes, my seams totally don't match. At least here they do, but I don't care. So now we come... Oh, this is the whole front, by the way. Yeah, the skirt has a really nice length. I think it's gonna look nice. Now let's look at the back. And this is where I'm always questioning my skills, because remember when I did the muslin and it was almost too tight? So now I have way too much. This is the back. And this is how much fabric I have too much. So I'm gonna have to cut a little bit off and do some stuff there. But I think other than that, the back is pretty nice. So I decided to just give the boning a try. And I really hope if it looks shitty that I can just remove it again. So my plan is... I gotta do it like this or the other way. Yeah, probably like this. My plan is to sew it directly on in the middle and hopefully catching the seam so that it's not visible from the front, but let's see if it works out. Yeah, I think it looks hideous. I'm not sure if you can see it, but there's just air. It's way bigger than it's supposed to be. Like, I'm not sure if you can see it so well. The idea is great, but I don't know why it's giving me so much air. Yeah, even pulling doesn't really change it. That's yeah, too bad. I don't think it will look nice. Then I prefer this side, which is a lot more natural. Shame. Before I will take on the back and the lining, I think I will do the sleeves, just to see if there's any more things that are totally fucked up. Now that the sleeves are on, it's time to hide a few things by sewing them on by hand. For example, this ugly stuff here, I'm gonna just fold to the inside and then sew it on here by hand. The same for the lining. I'm gonna fold it inside and then attach it here. And once that is done, I can attach this to the bottom skirt as well. Okay, so now that this is all nicely sewn, I can go on to the very hard part, which is the back. I have no idea, I have no idea why it's so big or how I'm gonna fix it properly. I think the biggest problem is my waist. So it's gonna have to look a bit like this. So, I don't know, like this, maybe. I think the best thing to do here is try it on and then try to put some pins. So this is what it looks like. I think it's pretty good. The shoulders are dropping because it's not closed in the back yet. I hope that will disappear. I managed to put one pin in, which is not exactly helpful for the zipper. I actually have absolutely no idea how I'm going to do this. The problem is also that the fabric is very stretchy, so since I want it tight around the waist, I'm gonna have to cut off a lot, and I don't know how. I think I will measure myself. Yeah, that worked so well the first time, I know. Pin it somewhere on here, pin the zipper, and then try it on again. Yeah, no, I can't reach it. So I did manage to close it somehow, but my microphone wasn't on. So I have no idea what I was talking about back then. I'm showing that I can still move, and I'm mistakenly thinking this zipper would work. I was very confident at that point. That confidence did not last. I mean, in a way, you can already see that it's just not going to work. Now that it looks nice again, I'm gonna try to put the zipper in. Moment of silence for this completely failed zipper, please. Here we are now. The zipper is a complete disaster, which I should have seen coming. I did try to do it one more time, but I will spare you the misery because it didn't change nothing. It finally came to me that there are other options to put a zipper in a dress. Like, I've never done that before. So I changed everything and put the zipper on the side. The microphone was off again, and I'm starting to question my ability to press that damn button. But what I will not question is the decision to place the zipper on the side, which turned out beautiful. I don't remember what I showed you here, so it's just la da da da, blah blah blah, da 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 da, blah 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 blah. Yeah. The seam that is still visible on the back will be hand sewn to the inside, and then there's only one thing left to do: the embellishment. So this is my little mock-up that I did on some scrap fabric I had left. I think it turned out pretty okay. I really like, well, I'm gonna call it a flower, even though it's not a flower. So I really like this flower, and this I wanted to be a little more together and leave a bit more space in between. I only have 50 of these drop-shaped beads. That means I can do 12 flowers. I think it should be fine. It sounds like 12 is more than enough, but the original dress has like 16, so I don't know. I'm gonna see how far we come along. Maybe I even have to cut this one off again from the mock-up, but we will see. This was the thread that I bought, but it's way too thick for the beading needles. So I got a different one, because you see the beading needles are very, very thin, so that they can fit, you know, through very long, small beads. Okay, this is a fairly big one actually, but I've worked with much smaller ones, and that's why I needed a thinner thread. All right, let's start, and well, I'm gonna try to find some points that I definitely want to reach with a flower, like where's the middle here? What about these corners? Yeah, so I'm gonna start with that. I'm gonna put the big one there. Oh my god, this is gonna be so hard. So from the looks of it, if I do it, leave a little bit more space here, another flower here, some space, I can do one flower in the corner. Yeah, I think I'm gonna start with the middle, work to the side, and then just hope for the best in the corners. So now that I've prepared the thread, let's just start. Oh, I'm nervous. I really don't want to fuck this up. Okay, let's check. Like, how far down should I go? I don't want this to be too closed. So I'm thinking that this is the point. I'm also not sure if I want to go through both. I actually don't think I want to, because I don't want it to be visible from the inside. And I'm also afraid the lining is gonna pull at some point and then it rips the front. So I'm just gonna go through the outer layer here. So I've been doing this for 3 more days and it's finally finished. It took forever because it was way harder than I thought, and getting the spacing correct was even harder. I had to redo so many pearls, but it's finally finished and I can't wait to wear it. So guys, what do you think? Is this dress worthy of the 250 euro original? I think I did a fairly good job and I really can't wait to wear it to another special occasion because it is stunning. That's all I have to say. Thank you for watching and see you soon.